Good morning. I'm Mark Ells, Barnstable Town Manager. And this is a this is a public hearing um, on changes to various Town of Barnstable permits and program fees for three of our departments, which would take effect on January 1st, 2024. So these are calendar year fees. We typically hold two fee hearings a year. Those fees that are for calendar year, and then those fees that are for fiscal year, which would start on July 1st. So these would be the fees commencing on January 1st, 2024. And we're holding this hearing today, November 14th. It's 11 a.m. The hearing can be viewed on Barnstable's Xfinity Channel 8 or High Definition Channel 1072, as well as Zoom. Those wishing to provide public comment may do so accessing the meeting via Zoom or by telephone. And the Zoom link is in the public notice, and the telephone number is 888-475-4499. The three departments, and we'll go in the order that it's stated in the public hearing notice, that have proposed fee changes are Community Services Department, the Town Manager's Department, and Marine and Environmental Affairs Department. The way that we proceed with the hearing is that I will introduce the proposed fee change. I will ask Mark Mill, our finance director, if Mark has any comments relevant to the proposed fee changes. I'll ask our department head or their designee if they could provide a rationale. Then I will take any public comment that there may be relevant to the fee change. And when we conclude each of the departmental proposed fee changes, I will take these proposed fees under advisement, accept comments for another 30 days, and at the end of that period, we will either adopt the fees as proposed, we will reduce the fee, or we won't implement a change at all, and it'll hold with whatever the existing fee is if there's already a fee in place. And for the most part, that is the case. There's one that is not. So that's how I intend to proceed with review of these proposed calendar year fee changes for for calendar year 2024. The first group of fee changes is in our Community Services Department. And we have several categories of proposed changes. The first fee change falls in our recreation division of community services, and it is a proposed summer leisure program change. The current fee for our summer leisure program is $1,200, and the proposed change would have it increased to $1,400. The next general area of change is within our Youth and Community Services division. And I will read through those proposed changes. Right now, we have a full gym for public that's charged hourly. The hourly rate's $105. We're proposing for that to go to $110. We have a full gym for nonprofit hourly. It's $80. It's proposed to go to $85. We have a half-court gym for-profit hourly. Currently $65, proposed to go to $70. Half-court gym, not-for-profit, or non-profit rather, $50 to go to $55. General room rental hourly is currently $25 per hour. It's proposed to go to $40. and general room rental for a nonprofit is currently $25, that would go to $30. We also have a gymnasium floor covering fee that we do not currently have that fee in place. And we are proposing that that fee be $500. I'll stop here and I'll ask Director Milne if he has any comments at this point. Mark Milne?
Thank you. I have no comments at this point.
Thank you. Okay, then I will go to the Director of Community Services, Chris Ganella. Director Ganella, can you provide a justification, please?
Yes, thank you, Manager Ells, and thank you, Director Milne. The summer leisure program, again, is going to incur additional costs due to increased field trip, transportation expenses, and state mandated staffing requirements. The recreation understands the concerns with increasing the cost of the leisure program, and we did investigate ways to try to limit or reduce costs. 81% of the leisure program budget is for staffing. We are seeing an increase of participants that require additional support, and we're also trying to stay competitive with wages to attract seasonal employees who run these programs. 19% of the program is related to expenses, of which the majority are field trips, transportation costs, and daily visits to our beaches. These continue to be very popular, and we don't want to eliminate them as they are an integral part of the summer leisure program experience. Even with full participation and the proposed $200 fee increase, this program will continue to need general fund subsidies of approximately 12%. Comparatively, we looked at similar offerings and costs throughout the Cape. Barnstable's leisure program equates to a cost of $5 per hour per participant. And in comparison, a local not-for-profit organization equates to almost $10 per hour per participant. We also considered a multiple child discount from last year's fee increase hearing, but this would create a need to further increase costs for individual participants. Recreation also provides supplemental funds via the community block grant to help out families. We have internal financial aid, and we go on a case-by-case basis to make sure and ensure that we can get anybody who needs to participate or needs to get in this program a way and a means to do so. That concludes my rationale for the leisure program. The Hyannis Youth and Community Center, there are many factors associated with this request, including higher staffing costs, rising costs of supplies, increased cost of utilities, and the necessary replacement of aging equipment with the building being 14 years old. HYCC is requesting to standardize the room rental fees and additionally add fee changes based on for-profit renters versus non-profit renters to better align with us being a community center. The new gymnasium floor covering fees to cover costs associated with the installation and removal of the cover, as well as potential future replacement of the covering system. That concludes my rationale for these three requests.
Thank you, Director Ganella. Well, pause. Do we have any public comment at this time on the proposed fee changes for Community Services Department?
There was no public comment for this item.
Okay, I actually have a question, Director Ganella. Were these proposed fee changes reviewed by the Recreation Commission?
Yes, they were approved.
And they were approved by the Recreation Commission. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, at this time, we will close the Zoom meeting relevant to the proposed calendar fee changes. We will continue to accept comment for a 30-day period, at which time that comment period will end. We will take that under advisement, and again, we will either accept this proposed, accept with a modification down, or not accept, and it will remain the same fee that is currently in place. Thank you. Next, I will move on to the Town Manager's Department Asset Management Division. And in this case, we are going to delegate the justification in a moment to David Anthony. And the proposed fee is the electric vehicle charging station fee per kilowatt hour. Currently, we do not have a fee, and Dave will explain that. And what we are proposing is to go to a 25-cent per kilowatt hour fee for our vehicle recharging stations. At this time, though, that concludes the one fee proposed change. And I would ask Director Mark Milne if he has any comment or question.
None at this time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Director Anthony, would you please provide a justification for the proposed fee change?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Town Manager Ells and Director Milne. These new chargers that we have just recently installed as the result of a grant that was received from and through our energy manager replace chargers that were put in 2012. A federal grant in 2012 paid for all of the heavy cabling, the power drops, the actual equipment. And one of the conditions of that grant was that the town would pay for and absorb the cost of the electricity in exchange for having all of that equipment paid for by the feds and by the state. They have reached the end of their useful life and have now been upgraded to level 2, a more sophisticated charger that actually does allow us to collect a fee in an environment where electric vehicle users expect that they will have to pay something for it. I was asked if I could find some justification here on Cape, and the very much like the different technology is out there, it's all over the map. Falmouth, for example, is charging 35 cents per kilowatt hour at its public lot, except Truro Town Hall has 2 that are still free. Orleans is at 40 cents. The Cape Cod Tech School is at 43 cents per kilowatt hour and has 4 charging stations there. Provincetown has 16 charging points in town. 3 of them appear to be free based on some internet research. But the McMillan Pier, there are 4 charging stations, but they use a different methodology, which is a charge per hour as opposed to per kilowatt hour. In looking at which way to go, we settled on the per kilowatt hour because fast chargers use less time and make those potentially available, but they get more draw for the same hourly rate, and it is a more equitable charge to charge per kilowatt hour. In addition, the county charges 35 cents at its Barnstable Village location and its lot in Orleans. The college is a $1 per hour. The state chargers, both in Harwich, at the CCRTA and at the Sagamore lots, are all free. Heritage Museum, as a point of comparison, is 25 cents per kilowatt hour. Apparently at Home Depot, it's $1.25 per hour. The other locations where our charging stations are at hotels and car dealerships. They generally make those available to the people who use those facilities. So if you're renting a room at a particular hotel, you would charge up for free. However, an example, the 4 Point Sheraton Eastham is 45 cents per kilowatt hour as a public charger, with room renters being connected for free. So we felt very strongly that the 25 cents per kilowatt hour was on the lower end. We justify it by looking at the cost of electricity at 22 cents. That is our cost, so it is a pass-through. And then the software costs run around $700 per charger per year. So we're asking for an additional 3 cents to offset that, with the average kilowatt usage per charging station running between 10,000 and 12,000 kilowatt hours per year. That's how we settled on the 25 cents, and that's what we're requesting from you today, sir.
Thank you, Director Anthony. At this time, do we have any public comment?
We do not have any public comment for this item.
Thank you. So again, These are proposed fees in the town manager's office under our asset management division. And we will take this fee proposal under advisement at this time. And we will allow for 30 days of public comment. At the end of that period, we will close public comment and we will take under advisement this hearing, the result of this hearing and that public comment. And we will either accept this fee as proposed, we will reduce the fee, or we will leave it without a fee in this case. And thank you. Thank you, Director Anthony, for that justification. Finally, we have a proposed fee that's actually administered through the town clerk's office, but established by our Marine and Environmental Affairs Department. And we have primarily a proposal to modify fees. We're also in the process of modifying our regulations relevant to dogs in our community. So just as a note, if you want to see those proposed fee changes, or find out information, you can certainly also look at the regulations that are being modified. And you can ask questions of our Assistant Director, Nina Coleman, who's here with us today. The proposed fees for a dog license are currently $10. They're proposed to go to $13. A dog license for a 2024 renewal only will go to $7. And I will let Assistant Director Coleman explain. They have used a similar rationale for other fee changes, given that they're shifting when they administer the fee. So I will let her provide that in her justification. Next fee, dog licenses, neutered and spayed, $7 going to $10. Dog licenses neutered and spayed for a 2024 renewal only, that would be a $5 fee. Multiple dog licenses, a new fee for $25. Those are the proposed fees. At this time, I'll ask Director Milne if he has any comments of these proposed fee changes.
No comment at this time, sir.
Okay, and then I will ask Assistant Director Coleman to provide us the justification for the proposed dog license fee changes.
Good morning, Nina Coleman, Director of Natural Resources, and thank you, Manager Ellis and Director Mellon. With me today is our Senior Animal Control Officer, Charlie Lewis, as well, to answer any questions you might have for this proposal. As you mentioned, we are in the process of updating our dog control regulations. It's been many years since these regulations were reviewed and updated. And part of that process is to shift our dog license tag year from a fiscal year to a calendar year. We're doing this to improve compliance with the dog tags in our town, and we're also trying to make this more convenient and less confusing for our residents. While we were reviewing the dog control regulation changes, we looked at other neighboring communities to see what they charged for a dog license. And we made a very modest request here to raise our rates a few dollars to mirror the rest of the communities. These fees cover administrating our dog license program. So the minimal changes are, as I mentioned, a few dollars, and to explain the prorated amount, we had to do this for a number of licenses from Marine Environmental Affairs as we shifted them to a calendar year. We did need to create a prorate for that year that we shifted. So folks that have a 2023 dog tag will be asked to renew their dog tag around the first of the year. And we need a prorated rate so those folks weren't double paying. And that's part of our proposal here as well. So again, that would only be for 2023 dog tag renewals. Once we went into the next year, we would be back to a full rate for everybody. So that explains our request for our dog tag renewal rate changes. There's another rate request here, which is a $25 fee for multiple dog license. Our multiple dog license is a new proposed regulation. It would be for households in residential areas that have 4 to 6 dogs or up to 2 litters of puppies a year. This is already allowed in our town, but what we're asking for is an opportunity to have a license, an additional license for those homes that have multiple dogs, so that we can potentially put orders on those households to keep the peace in the neighborhoods. And so this would be a $25 fee. In addition to each of those dogs would need to be licensed with the town of Barnstable. So I hope I was able to explain that, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you. At this time, is there any public comment?
There was no public comment for this item.
All right, thank you. I do have a question. So I have 2 dogs and I have my 23 dog license. So the way that these fees work this year, I'll renew for January 1 and it'll cost me $5. But assuming these fees stay in place for next calendar year, 2025, then I would pay $10 next year for the year. Is that correct? Per dog?
It depends if your dogs are spayed or neutered, but
Yeah, they
yeah.
are. They're spayed, yeah.
Yes, so that is
Okay.
correct. Everything
Okay.
is done digitally now. So again, we're trying to make it less confusing and easier. So folks will be receiving an email with a link to pay right around the first of the year. And so it should be a lot simpler, and it would be, as you mentioned, Mr. Town Manager, it would be $5 for this year and then $10 for the following year.
Okay, and then a second question on the multiple dog license. So when you have 4 to 6 dogs that are 6 months or older, you're looking to require this license so that you can better track, the larger number, because at above 6, then you get into having to have a kennel license, correct? And a different fee associated with that. Now, let's say I have a dog and she has 6 pups. How does this fee apply?
So that would not apply to just having a litter of pups with 1 or 2 dogs. It's 4 adult dogs and over. So
Okay.
4 dogs over the age of 6 months. So in that scenario, you would not need this additional license.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, those are my questions at this time. Again, I will take these proposed fees for Marine and Environmental Affairs under advisement. I'll either approve them as proposed, reduce them, or not adopt them and hold with what the current fee is. We will allow for 30-day comment at the end of that 30 days. I will take all comments both from this hearing and any that come into me during that 30-day period under advisement and make that determination relevant to approval of the proposed calendar year fees for 2024. I want to thank you all for your justifications. Director Milne, thank you for being here with me. And I certainly welcome any public comment that we may receive, over the next 30 days. That concludes this public hearing. Thank you.